Oh my goodness. Is it working? I hope, and I pray that it's working. We are trying this out. I know it is crazy for me to be trying out something new tech-wise when Mercury is in retrograde, and we're going to talk all about your Mercury in retrograde horror stories, because I know I've had quite a few myself. But let's see, let's cross our fingers that this time around we are actually simulcasting live both to my Facebook page and to my YouTube channel. So, killing two birds with one stone, using two social media platforms at the same time. Like, yes, right? Yes. Gosh, I hope I can navigate this correctly. Oh, so I have someone here. Hello, Dawn Marie. I'm going to check my settings first of all, make sure that both are broadcasting. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like we're live in both places. Oh my goodness, it finally worked. Yes. All right. Introductions. If you have not met me before, or if you're not a regular viewer, welcome to my weekly show, Tarot by Hilary, live. It happens every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless, of course, I'm taking a week off, which I did last week because, boy, howdy, it was a week and I needed a break. And it was also a break from the work day as well, because I am working my day job from home as well as being still your neighborhood friendly tarot reader. But anyway, I'm Hilary. I'm a professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with your own intuition. Because yes, my friend, do not argue with me. You have intuition. I believe everybody has intuition. So on this week's show, I'm going to be giving you the card of the day for today, which is going to kind of sub in for the weekend forecast. Hell, if we have time, maybe I'll do two cards. I'll do the card of the day and the weekend forecast. If I have my deck in reach. Actually, I do. I have the Way of Bridget Oracle cards to hand right now, so I might just pull from that for the weekend forecast. So stay tuned till the end of the episode if you want a free reading from the collective, for the collective. Sorry, for the collective. Let me see if I can. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting because this is the first time I'm doing this to both channels. So I want to be able to see everyone's comments at the same time. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I hope so. So I see someone commenting on Facebook, but I don't know if I'm seeing any comments on YouTube. So bear with me. It's going to be interesting. We're just going to roll with it, okay? Let me see. Host chat, public chat. Sorry, let me pause for a second to see where everything's at. Yeah, oh my goodness, it's working. It's working. I'm so excited, guys. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's working. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited, guys. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second. All right, so we've got Lisa here live, we've got Dawn Marie here live, and we've got Esther here live. So hello, all the live viewers, and also hello to anyone watching the replay, because whenever you watch any of these shows, and we've been doing this for a while now, I've been doing this since August of last year, so we're coming up on our anniversary episode soon, and it's going to be a big blowout party, let me tell you. So I've been doing this every week since August, which is awesome. But so because I've been doing this every week since August, we've got a lot of videos in the archive about different tarot topics, different divination topics, different mystical topics. And as always, I am open to your suggestions. If there's a topic that I haven't covered yet that you want me to cover, or if there's a topic that's just so big that you want me to revisit it, we can totally do that too. Let me know by messaging me. You can slide into my DMs. Those are the only sliding into my DMs that I will accept from people. If you're coming at me to ask me for a free reading, you are going to get ignored and blocked, though. If you would like to book a reading, though, you can book a reading at my website, tarotbyhilary.com. So like, for example, Esther's asking me for a reading right now. This is not the time or place for a reading. We will do a reading for the collective at the end of the episode, Esther, so you want to stay tuned for that, okay? However, things are really volatile right now because that is another topic that we're going to talk about tonight, which is your Mercury in retrograde horror stories. If you've had your exes coming out of the woodwork, trying to slide into your DMs, if you've had tech problems, if you've had travel problems, if you've had communication problems, that is all because Mercury has been in retrograde and will continue to be in retrograde, I think, until next week. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that astro weather at the top of the episode so that you can be prepared and you can also see how this energy is showing up in your life, because forewarned is forearmed. If you don't know this stuff is going on, you can't prepare for it. And you can't, and sometimes like the muggles in my life will come up to me and be like, what is going on? And it's usually because it's Mercury in retrograde. Like even people that are not usually sensitive to energy are like, something's definitely up. And I'm just like, well, it's either the full moon, an eclipse, or Mercury is in retrograde. And remember, I am a professional tarot reader. I am not an astrologer. I know just enough astrology to be dangerous. So when I'm looking up astrology, I'm usually sharing astrological information with you from my very wonderful, forever on my ass business mentor, Theresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. Now, don't be fooled by Theresa, my friends. The Tarot Lady also knows her astrology as well, and she is the author of Tarot for Troubled Times with Shaheen Miro, and she is also the author of Astrology for Real Life. So if you want to learn astrology for yourself in a way that takes out the astrobabble and really lets you understand what that kind of esoteric jargon actually means, pick up that book. It's really, really good. Okay. So let us get to the astro weather for today, first of all, for this weekend. And this is coming at you from Theresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, thetarolady.com. If you want to get this information straight from the horse's mouth. Also, keep in mind, she is not going to be reading for the public for very much longer. And I think all of her slots are filled up. She has to focus on teaching, and she has to focus on writing more books and educating people more. So she will be closed to readings for the public. So just keep that in mind. And remember that I studied with her for a year, honing my business. So if you want a reading, come to me. I have read for Theresa before. She will vouch for me. Okay? All right. Let me pull up the AstroBiz Digest, which is from Theresa Reed. That's a subscription service that's geared towards entrepreneurs. And it's about $99 for a year's subscription. But trust me, it is so, so worth it. So I'm going to give you some of the information from there. And I would recommend that you go to her website for all the rest. Let's see here. So remember, Mercury, first off the bat, and we are going to be talking about this more, about Mercury in retrograde, okay? And the Mercury in retrograde horror stories that some of you people have been already telling me about, and some of the horror stories that I've been experiencing for myself. It's been bad, y'all. It's been really, really bad. Like Mercury in retrograde at the time of the pandemic it's been some special kind of fuckery, all right? So Mercury's still in retrograde. Back up your computer, slow down, expect travel delays, take your time, be careful signing contracts, try not to launch new things, be mindful of your words. When we talk about Mercury in retrograde, we want to focus on the RE. Focus on revisiting projects, focus on reviewing projects. It's a wonderful time to really slow down and reevaluate stuff so that when Mercury goes direct, you are primed and ready to launch. But don't launch anything new right now. Let's see. So it's soon. Mercury is going to direct really, really soon. You do also want to be cognizant that Mercury in retrograde, even when it goes direct, there is still a shadow period before and after the retrograde. So don't, as soon as Mercury goes direct, don't like run right out of the gate. Like, just be cautious, put your feelers out before you you gotta walk before you run, especially after Mercury in retrograde. So Mercury stations direct on July 12th. So today, at the time of the live recording, the live broadcast, it is Friday, July 10th. So we've got 2 more days to go, but just be careful this weekend and over the next week to ramp up things. Don't go flying straight out of the gate, okay? Communication fails can heal, and tech problems will begin to ease up. And this is in the words of Theresa Reed: if June was a shit show, Mercury direct will pave the way to clean up the messes made. Deep breaths. We're going to get through this better than ever, and also together. So again, in the words of Theresa Reed, let's see what the energy was like for today and if it matched up to her days, right? So the planets are active today, so be ready to ride the wave. It begins with Moon-Neptune conjunction at 6:57 a.m., which is lovely for sleeping in if you can, or getting to work on creative projects. The moon makes sextiles to Jupiter and Pluto starting at 10:47 a.m., which could amplify your creativity to new heights and help you potentially tap into your sixth sense. And remember, folks, you do have intuition. I believe everyone has intuition. One thing is for sure: if you get a feeling about anything or anyone, this is not the day to ignore it. Late in the evening, the moon will be void before heading into Aries on Saturday morning. Get to bed early because this weekend will be lit. Power day for Pisces and a weekday for Virgo. So sorry for you Virgos out there. It was a weekday for you and a power day for Pisces. And I think power days for Pisces sometimes can indicate that our intuitions are really on fire, and not to ignore that energy, because water typically is both about feelings and also about intuition. So pay attention to those intuitive hits today, okay? Saturday, Aries moon arrives 1:06 a.m. on Saturday. And by the way, these times are in Eastern Standard Time. If you wake up feeling raring to go, blame it on the moon. The weekend is good for starting new projects, hosting meetings, and launching, provided you wait until Mercury is direct on Sunday. Remember, be cautious. Mercury is still in retrograde. Moon squares Mercury at 12:09 p.m., creating a cloud of confusing, aggressive energy around communication. Remember, this is tomorrow. This is not a good time to negotiate anything. At 5:16 p.m., Moon is conjunct Mars. This could be explosive, so you'll want to keep your temper and impulse in check. Arguments started in the afternoon could blow up if you're not careful. At 9:21 p.m., the Moon-Venus sextile is dope for client communication and rewarding your top drawer clients. Schedule in something special at this time and you'll have those fans for life. Sunday finds Mercury direct at 4:26 a.m. So we are not having to struggle through Sunday in retrograde. It is happening at 4:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As the weeks unfold, any drama that happened during this retrograde will begin to straighten out. Remember, begin to straighten out. You can move ahead with travel, negotiations, and buying new tech now. A trine between the Sun and Neptune at 2:43 p.m. stimulates the creative imagination. The muse is singing, so get popping on your projects. This aspect could also reveal insights into future trends. If you pick up on something that might be innovative for your industry, write it down. It may turn out to be significant later on. Everything goes south on Sunday at 7:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the moon squares off with Jupiter and Pluto. This takes aggressive behavior into an ugly place. You'll want to avoid getting into it with anyone. If you decide to wade into drama, you wish you would have curled up at home with some popcorn and a documentary instead. Both days are power days for Aries, weekdays for Libra. So sorry again. Sorry again, not again, but sorry to Libra for those weekdays, and yay to power days for Aries, because I am a triple Aries, folks. So I am happy about that, but also need to be very cautious because one of my Aries is my Mars is in Aries. So I kind of get really charged up and sometimes aggressive really, really quickly. So that is the astro weather for today and for this weekend. So thank you again to Theresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. Go ahead and check out her website. Not right now, not during the live broadcast, but afterwards, if you want to see more of her astrology posts. And she also is a wonderful tarot reader as well, with a lot of great information about learning tarot. So if you have your friends that are astrologically, spiritually, divination inclined, and you think that this information might be useful to them, please go ahead and share this video and let them know about it so that they can get the information too, because forewarned, again, is forearmed. Okay? Okay. So let me put this back up again. So what I want to hear from you now is, if you're watching live right now, or even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and drop in the comments any Mercury retrograde horror stories that you might have had. You can, please, you don't have to name names here. That's not what I'm talking about, but you can mention a few things that have been going on with you since Mercury went into retrograde about 3 weeks ago. Have there been any tech snafus for you? Have there been any travel problems? Have there been any communication problems? Have your exes been coming out of the woodwork, out of nowhere? And or childhood friends that you haven't heard from in years, maybe are trying to contact you now. These are the stories that I want to hear about. While I'll say one of my stories that I have is, at my day job, there was a software issue that happened that I can't navigate. The IT team is trying to navigate it, but it definitely affected myself and my team. So much to the point where it was never an issue before. We had been working with the software for like 3 to 4 years, and this kind of level of fuckery has never happened before. And even the person that was working on it said Mercury's in retrograde, and I'm just like, hey, you said it, not me, because it's usually me saying it to people. But sometimes when things get really, really hinky, people are saying it back to me, like, is Mercury in retrograde? And the answer is yes. And actually, funny story, there is a website that just is mercuryinretrograde.com, and it usually either says yes or no. I'm going to look it up for you guys. Hold on a second. Yes, it's just ismercuryinretrograde.com. Yes, that might account for the weirdness. Mercury turns direct at 1:26 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on July 12th. So that particular website has it in Pacific Standard Time, but we already know it. We're 3 hours ahead, Eastern Standard Time. So that would be 4:26 a.m. But let me go ahead and show this to you. Actually, I think I can share it. Hold on. Let me see if I can go ahead and broadcast that. Screen, share screen, tab. Let me go ahead and try and share this. Hopefully you guys were able to see that, because I can't see it. Hold on, let me see. The answer is yes. All right. Let me go ahead and stop sharing that. So, as I was telling my little story, we've got some comments in the comment section. So my friend Lisa got royally borked by TurboTax, still trying to sort things out. Oh, I have a story about our taxes too. Thank you for reminding me. I'll tell it after we get Dina's thing. So Dina's saying, our computer died and my husband lost a best friend. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dina. That's horrible. Please give my love and condolences to your husband, and of course to your family, because that's rough to deal with at any time. So Lisa, with the TurboTax, we just actually recently sent out our taxes to our accountant, and I know we left it kind of late. Our taxes went out of state to come back in state again. It took over a week to get to our accountant, who lives maybe 3 towns away from us. Super, super, super annoying. So I was having a little bit of a freak out myself and thinking, oh my goodness, like they're not going to get there in time, and I'm going to have to scan all of this and send it through the computer. And so that reminded me, like, we kind of got borked a little bit on our taxes. Well, hopefully, knock on wood, not really, because it finally got to my accountant, but that made me really, really nervous. Anyone else have some horror stories for Mercury in retrograde, or maybe some funny stories about Mercury in retrograde? Because it's a real thing, y'all. It's real. It's a real thing. While I'm waiting, I'm going to see if I can turn up anything else for Mercury in retrograde. Oh, and let me let you know when the next Mercury retrograde for 2020 happens. How about that? So there's only 3. There's only 3 for this year. So we're in the 2nd out of 3. So, whew. Be thankful for small miracles, right? So, February 17th to March 10th was the first Mercury retrograde period. June 18th to July 12th is the second, and we're still in it. Going to be out of it soon. And October 14th to November 3rd. Actually, that's kind of funny. So it's not that far off from the last time that Mercury was in retrograde last year. And I actually traveled during a Mercury in retrograde for the Card Slingers thingy that we were calling it, now called the Kitchen Table Gathering, which is going to be completely virtual this time around and hosted by my good friend Melissa Sonova, who is also one of my co-hosts for the Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast. So actually, let's do a quick break to plug that, because our newest episode went live today, because we publish podcast episodes every 2nd and 4th Friday of the month. So it is the 2nd Friday of the month. Jeez, man, life in quarantine. I don't know the day. I had to be reminded by my husband that it was Friday night, and he asked me, "Are you broadcasting tonight?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's right, it's Friday." So y'all should thank my husband for reminding me that it's Friday. Otherwise, I was going to completely forget. It's been a week, folks. It's been a week. But our newest episode is on the Emperor. And the name of the episode, let me see if I can go ahead and pull it up. Considering I've got it on my podcasts here, because yes, I listen to my own podcast. It's not that I have a huge ego or like to hear myself talk. It's more because I'd like to hear my co-hosts talk, because they're very, very smart people. Let's see. And I'm still working on my next episode for my own podcast. Apologies for the lateness. I haven't even done the newsletter for this month. It's been really crazy. So our 12th episode on the Emperor launched today, and it is called The Emperor, Put Your Stink All Over That Throne. And you'll hear the reason why we decided to name the episode that when you listen to the episode. So you can find that episode wherever you subscribe to your podcasts. I think we're on pretty much every every podcasting place you can think of, including Apple Podcasts as well. And if you are liking what you're hearing, please go ahead and leave us a kind review. Melissa, Jamie, and myself would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So I think we have done a lot of stuff in this episode. I am tickled pink that I am able to broadcast at the same time to both Facebook and to YouTube, so I don't have to have an extra step. And eventually I am going to get all the rest of the episodes in the archive onto YouTube as well, so you can look on Facebook or you can look on YouTube to watch previous episodes. It's up to you. And I have so many different topics already talked about there, so you can check out those episodes. We've got episodes on online readings and how I do online readings, especially in the time of the pandemic, where face-to-face readings are just not possible right now for my own safety and health, for your own safety and health. But I also talk about how effective those readings can be, even if they're not face-to-face, over Skype, over phone, over email. You can still get a really quality and accurate reading with me or with any other tarot reader or astrologer or psychic, because energy is energy. It doesn't matter that you're not face to face with someone. I've read for people in Australia. I've read for people in Riyadh. I've read for people across the country and across the world, and they keep on coming back to me. So clearly, online readings, phone readings, Skype readings, email readings, they work. They work. And they are no worse or better than in-person readings. In fact, most of the time, I think that they're better. So we talk all about that in that episode. You want to go ahead and check that out. I also created a podcast episode in the Tarot by Hilary podcast. I believe that is the very first episode of that podcast. So you can either watch that replay or you can listen to the podcast episode. I've done episodes on the court cards. I've done episodes on, I think I've done episodes on the major arcana and the structure of the tarot. I've done episodes on oracle cards and the differences between tarot and oracle and Lenormand. So look through the archives and binge watch to your heart's content any of the episodes that you find interesting or illuminating. Okay, let us move on to the card of the day, first of all, and then the weekend forecast. I'm going to pull the card of the day first. I don't normally do this, but I haven't gotten to putting the card of the day up. And it's actually the card of the day that I pulled yesterday, but I still feel that energy circulating around. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use it as today's card of the day as well. So let me go ahead. Let me add an item here. Okay, so the card of the day that I pulled yesterday, never got to post it. I'm also going to use it as today's card of the day. Card of the day is from the Lion Strider Tarot, and it is the Death card. Now, don't freak out, y'all. The Death card rarely means death. It sometimes can mean actual physical death in different circumstances. So I'm not going to sugarcoat and say that it never does. But most of the time, the Death card means upheaval, change, the ending of a situation so that a new situation can begin. And it's a really beautiful depiction of the Death card. With the different flowers. I'm going to hold it up here. So you've got the skull, but you also have these beautiful flowers blooming, and you've got hints of color as well. And also an upside down triangle to me represents almost like an alchemical symbol for change. So I really, really like this depiction of the Death card. And I'm going to go ahead and read from the companion book, the guidebook from the Lion Strider Tarot called The Lion Strider's Journey. And this is, by the way, by Ciolo Thompson. And I really enjoy companion books, guidebooks that are written by the same person that did the art, because you get a sense of the reason why the artist made those choices. And through that, you gain almost a different, perhaps more layered, nuanced meaning of the card, and understanding of the card that you can take into other decks or into other readings even. So really, really recommend this deck. It's really beautiful. Let's see. Hold, please, while I find this. Give me a second here. And also, as you're waiting for me to go ahead and give you this, go ahead and have some water. This is your water break. All right, how am I flipping through this? I went right past it to the star card. There we go. I'm going to have some water too. I'm going to take my own advice. Oh, that's good. Okay, so I'll hold up the card while I'm reading the description for our card of the day. So keywords for death are change, transformation, renewal, destruction, endings, loss, new beginnings, and liberation. The death card indicates a time of transformation and transition. This card urges you to discard dead weight, clear away the things that are preventing your growth, and welcome the new spring of being. My illustration for this card strayed quite far from the traditional depictions of death, but kept the important element of growth and the balance of old and new, dark and light. I strongly associate this card with flora, the idea of pruning, or even raising crops in order to improve growing conditions and increase the harvest. In a reading, this card is an affirmation that you should welcome change in your life as a positive and transformative force. This card is frequently misunderstood and dreaded. It is, in fact, a positive, almost consoling omen that speaks of letting change happen, letting go of unhealthy attachments, and welcoming a fuller, more fulfilled life. Though changes may be painful, they are actually for the better. In the past position, the death card indicates that there's big change or transformation already in the past that may be affecting the way your path is unfolding. Maybe you got divorced a few years ago or finished college. This card is referring to that type of big life moment. Death reversed reflects a resistance to change. You may be holding on to things that are preventing you from growing into a happier, healthier, more successful person. By the way, this card did not come up reversed. It came up upright. Examine your attachments to old ideas, grudges, painful experiences, or behaviors. Examine your relationships. Be honest about the things that are holding you back. You have an opportunity for a new beginning if you choose to accept it. The card in some circumstances may indicate unwanted or negative change that is being caused by an external force, especially when paired with the Tower. Look to the other cards and to your intuition when disruptive forces are in play. So the correspondences for this card are, the astrological correspondences are to Aries and Scorpio. The number is 13. And the associated plants are elderflower, blackberry, and periwinkle. So usually what you can see those exact flowers within this card, especially when C.L.O. Thompson mentions it in the companion book, it's because they're included in the illustration. So that is the card of the day for yesterday and for today. I think it's really, really applicable. And I hope it helps you because sometimes tarot can be a heads up. It can be fortune telling. But sometimes tarot can be more of an affirmation or confirmation of what's already going on in your life. Like you may be feeling this upheaval, these changes, and the changes are coming too fast, too quickly, and you don't feel like you have solid ground or you can't keep up with the changes. But that is the nature of the Death card because it's actually quite certain. You know, like what's the saying? Only two things are certain, death and taxes. I think it's kind of funny that the death card is coming up, the week before taxes are due with the extension, with the pandemic going on. So, but change is a part of life, and change is something that you cannot change. You have to roll with the changes because that part of life isn't going to change. The fact that there are changes. So roll with the changes. Welcome those new beginnings that are happening. Try not to resist so much, because when the death card comes up, it is about transformation. It is also a card of up-leveling. But also keep in mind that the death card is smack in the middle of the major arcana. It is not the last card of the major arcana. The world card is the last card in the major arcana. And knowing that the death card is not the end kind of brings this lovely quality to it. So keep that in mind if you've ever been worried about the death card coming up. And also know that context is everything, look at the surrounding cards. Yes, the death card can actually mean physical death sometimes, but more often it means change and upheaval, or something needs to end so that a new, beautiful beginning can start to blossom. So, any thoughts on that particular card coming up? Is it resonating with you? Is it not? Let me know in the comments. And then we're going to move on to the weekend forecast, which I'm going to pull from the Way of Bridget Oracle cards by Tanya, I'm pretty sure it's Tanya Reichly, which I got on Etsy. Actually, my friend bought them for me because I am in training to become a high priestess of the goddess Bridget. So, and if there are any questions, now's the time to ask them. This is not the space for a free reading. You just kind of got one and you're going to get another one, more for the collective. So, but if you would like to book a reading with me, you absolutely can do so at www.tarotbyhilary.com. That is Hilary with one L. Oh, and also let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to hear that. Forgot to do that at the top of the episode because I was so jazzed that it actually worked and broadcast to both YouTube and Facebook. I'm psyched about that. I'm ridiculously excited about that. Let me make sure that I'm not missing any comments right now on YouTube. Just double check here. Let me just test it. Anyway. No, it's not coming up. I just dropped a thing into the... oh well. Sorry, YouTubers. Can't see your comments even if you were to comment, but I didn't see any, so meh. All right. Let us get into the weekend forecast, and then I'm going to let you guys go. And get on with your weekend, and hopefully you have a full weekend. If you're one of those people that has to work on the weekend, I hear ya. That used to be my life too, and actually I'm probably going to have to put in a little bit of work this weekend so that my Monday is not insane. So, asking the Way of Bridget Oracle, what do we most need to know for this weekend? What energy do we need to embody for this weekend? What do we need to know? Okay. She has spoken. So we are getting the Kara, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so excuse me, but the Kara for freedom. This is a very wordy oracle, so I'll just go ahead and read it to you guys, okay? A lushy, the Kara is for freedom. A lushy, grassy expanse, interminably covered with Bridget's green mantle, the Kara offers you the gift of freedom. Visualize laying on this sweet and verdant plain, arms and legs spread. Allow release. You are free. You are unencumbered by life. What does this mean to you? What does it mean to live free? Allow yourself to remember what freedom feels like. Know that you can live free. You are free. It's a very nice card, and I think it's a reminder for me to actually go outside and put the grass in my feet, or my feet in the grass. So that is your weekend forecast for this weekend. And I think we're going to wrap things up here, guys. Let me take this down. The weekend forecast. All right. So, again, if you think that this video will help your friends, go ahead and share it with your metaphysical, fun-loving friends. We do this every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook and now on YouTube, whichever one you like. I thank you so, so much for watching. Truly, I am doing this for you guys. And I so appreciate our regular viewers and also any new people joining in and watching the episode. I so appreciate it. I'm doing this for you. Let me know if you have any topics that you want me to cover, because the episodes lately have been more focused on like, how you doing? Are you doing okay? Have you been drinking your water? Have you been getting enough sleep? Have you been taking care of yourself? I see you, I validate you. I'm giving you the weekend forecast and I'm letting you go on your way. But if you want me to cover a topic, I'm happy to do so. Just go ahead, slide into my DMs. Let me know what you want me to talk about. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can do so at tarotbyhilary.com. I am doing email readings, phone readings, and Skype readings for the foreseeable future. So, once again, my name is Hilary. I am a professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Stay blessed, my friends. Stay safe. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you again. Same time, same bat channel, next week, Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.